きたか。 予定が詰まってる。さっさと終わらせよう。この一手で決めるぞ。隙あり消えろ。敵を甘い出番だぞ。砕け野郎ども。これはどう壁にかまって立ちの甘いしてやら。砕けろ。これ以上時間を割くつもりは砕けろ。これはどう。そのまま寝てな。これはどう。砕けろ。この一手で決めるぞ。砕けろ。次は何をすりゃいい。砕けろ。これはどう。感覚は砕けろ。見てたな。ああ食いしばれ。砕けろ。砕けろ。これはどう。行くぞ。
怪人と風。こ
れはどう。若葉。砕けろ。これ以上時間を割くつもりは。これはどう。砕けろ。この一手で決めるぞ。砕けろ。砕けろ。砕けろ。これはどう。甘い。なんだと。これはどう。砕けろ。これはどう。通称に注意しな。砕けろ。次は何をすればいい。これはどう。消えろ。はん。こいつをくれな。身のほど一気に攻めるぞ。仕留める。この一手で決めるぞ。砕けろ。砕けろ。砕けろ。これはどう。よっとキングもらった。いや
まだ見やがる。
祝うほどの勝利でもなかったな。
この試練絶対乗り切ってみせるんだから。
俺また厄介者か。ダメだ。感覚は鈍くて見てだな。この一手で決めるぞ。せい。
まだ見やがる。
待ちの巣にしてやら。よけきれるか。甘い。甘い。こいつをくれな。これ以上時間を割くつもりは。砕けろ。これはどう。砕けろ。仕留める。砕けろ。砕けろ。ダメだ。次は何をすりゃいい。全て想定通り。砕けろ。この一手で決めるぞ。通称に注意しな。甘い。攻めるぞ。これはどう。よけきれるか。せい。よっと雑魚。久しぶりに早く帰れそうだ。
Well, personally, I think Entropy Effect is a lot better than Hades 2. Hades is a great game, but heavily overrated, and then also it's given people the unrealistic expectation that roguelikes have to have this award-winning story, and that really bothers me because the whole thing about roguelikes is they're basically arcade games for people that are too young or just don't have interest in arcade games. And like, those games did not have good stories, like, ever. Hades is a great game, but man, is it overrated. Entropy Effect, on the other hand, is the opposite, right? Where, you know, even though they did add, like, actual BlazBlue stuff, you know, like, nothing happens in the story. It's kind of like a filler episode, basically. It kind of, like, implies that there might be more at some point, but I'm guessing, you know, ArcSys is incredibly busy with maintaining, like, 4 different fighting games right now, so... I would rather have Entropy Effect news. Granted, Hades 2, I don't like that game anywhere near as much as Entropy Effect. I've got like only a couple hours in that game, and I've got probably like 150 in Entropy Effect. The modding community for that game is way better. So, it's an apples and oranges thing. They're not objectively better or worse than each other, but I do get bothered when people play a game like this and like, oh, well, the story's not good. I'm like, well, you're not playing it for the right reason. If you want a story, there are a million great narrative-focused games that, admittedly, usually have shit gameplay. If you're looking for both, then that is an incredibly hard thing to find. I don't get it, man. I'm glad that roguelikes are popular and that somebody like me that is not inherently interested in, you know, story and stuff because of just how I grew up playing a lot of arcade games and stuff. I don't know. It set people's expectations extremely high. It's like, the reason that you should play roguelikes is for the gameplay and the replayability. I think the interesting thing is that people didn't even like Hades 2's story. They didn't like the way that it ended. It's like, well, this is why most roguelikes don't have a story. They are the hardest games to write a story for. Narrative-focused games have it a lot easier, because there's not an expectation for gameplay or replayability for the most part. But, like, you're fighting these same enemies and bosses, like, thousands of times. That is incredibly hard to write around. The best video games with story, narrative, you only fight bosses like twice, at most, maybe 3 times. DMC3 is a good example. You fight Virgil 3 times, but there's a narrative reason for it, and the fight changes each time that you fight him. But they did not have to write DMC3 with the expectation that you're going to fight Virgil 3,000 times. I'm getting tired of it, honestly. I think people need to really rethink why they play roguelikes. If you want a story, this is not the place to go. Like, I don't go and play visual novels and whine that the gameplay sucks. It's like, well, you're not really playing a visual novel for the gameplay, right? It's the art and the story and the fact that your choices have a lot more meaning than something like this, where, you know, you don't really... I don't talk to this anime girl right here, you know, the world implodes or something. I don't know. It's a really unrealistic expectation. I'm glad that Hades made the genre more popular to somebody who just likes gameplay first and everything else second, but it definitely has, definitely has fried people's brains. Brain rot is pretty nuts. people play a porn game and it has bad gameplay. It's like, well, what benefit do they have to put good gameplay in a porn game? Because you're there for the porn, right? And if you have good gameplay, the commercial viability of a porn game is way worse because, you know, the payment processors are going to block it, right? So why does a porn game need to have good gameplay? It's like, he rubbed one out and that's it. Do they have a benefit to make like a an assault spy level combat in a porn game? Like, most people aren't even going to know it exists, and then those who do, they're going to be turned off by that stuff, myself included. I'm not into that stuff. Would I play a game like that? Probably not, to be honest with you. Well, see, the interesting thing was that Hades 2 had a much more controversial writing than the original did, where pretty much everybody liked the story in the original, but the second one, people really hated the way that it ended. I'm like, well, you know, this should be a wake-up call. Why most roguelikes have, like, no story. It's not by coincidence. You go ahead and write a story where you have to have a lore reason for why the same boss keeps respawning and you keep killing them.
City connection.
Instead of like every other game where it's like maybe 3 or 4 times at most. Even Monster Hunter is not like that. Monster Hunter is basically like, you don't actually kill thousands of monsters. You know, your character kills like maybe a couple dozen and then the story ends. Everything else after that is not canon. You don't go kill, you know, Lagiacrus like 500 times. There aren't 500 Lagiacruses. There's a reason for that. They won't have to keep explaining, like, look, I know you just carved this thing to death, but it gets back again. No one wants to have to write around that.
Stage 1, RN Gym.
There aren't like thousands of them, right? Like, there's a couple at most. Yeah, your character does great things and saves people in the ecosystem, but like, there aren't like thousands of that same monster. A good example of this is the Dungeon Fighter. That game tries to have a narrative, but the way that the gameplay works and like the mission structure makes it make no sense. Like, there's a part in that game where you fight the Bantu tribe, and the story is supposed to be that you're proving yourself to them, but then in gameplay, you're literally punching and slashing them so hard that they explode into chunks. I'm like, I think that goes a little bit past proving your worth if you're punching their tribesmen warriors into pulp. Like, what is there to prove? And then they'll tell you to go back and do it again. I'm like, well,
Select the character
I just used my boxer character to punch them and Dempsey roll them into pulp. They turn into blue chunks. Like, why do you want me to prove yourself again? Why do you want me to prove myself again? How many of these tribesmen warriors do you have? How many do you have to want me to go back and punch them in the pulp again? I just did it like 2 minutes ago. Just like asexually reproducing battle-hardened tribesmen warriors in their prime that they can just have you Dempsey roll them into blue chunks every 2 minutes, and you know, it's not like this. It's not like this big hit to their survivability as a you know, a race or whatever. In my opinion, narrative-wise, as somebody who doesn't give a shit about narrative most of the time, Absalom does it the right way, where they don't even try to justify, you know, you're fighting, like, this oppressive king and, you know, this cosmic horror being, and, you know, they just come back. It's like, well, the story basically ends once you beat them, and then, you know, it just goes back to the point of no return, which I think is how more narrative-focused roguelikes should do it, instead of writing themselves into a corner with, you know, to fight that same goblin boss like 5,000 times. It's just like, no, you're really only fighting him a couple times, and then the story just ends. But yeah, Hades has definitely done a lot for the roguelike genre and popularized it. I'm very glad for that, but it's also given people unrealistic expectations. They don't think about, like, how hard it is to write a story like that. Pretty much all the best video game stories would fall apart if they had to justify, you know, like, endgame grinding and, you know, respawning bosses and stuff. Vast majority of them would literally not even be good stories anymore. That's why I stay winning. I'm in it for gameplay. I'm old. I'm an elder millennial. I grew up when stories were like a paragraph at most. So, I don't really value those things. It's nice if a game has a good story, but I've actually kind of noticed after Hades 2, there's been a lot less of a push to even try having a good story, because Hades 2's narrative really took a dump at the end from what I hear. People really hated it, and they felt that the reason to keep killing the same boss 800 times is very contrived and not very well written. Like, a lot of the roguelikes that have come out since then, they're not even trying anymore. I'm like, good! Just focus on the gameplay. There are thousands of great narrative-focused games to play, if that's what I want.
Welcome. Kick back and relax. Going with that, we've got a masterpiece on our hands, folks. We've got a masterpiece on our hands, folks. We've got a masterpiece on our hands, folks. Hey, take care out there and have a blast. Select the character you wish to use. Rick Norton.
I've heard that they're like redoing the story again for the Hades 2 PS5 port. They're redoing it again. People will like it this time, or it's just going to be repeating the same cycle.
Justice will not be tolerated.
Ironically, Tokiden, that series, actually had, like, a lore reason why, you know, you can fight the same boss, like, 800 times. Because basically they were demons, so there's not, like, a finite amount of them. It's interesting to think about that. That game actually had a pretty good story for a hunting game. And the fact that they were like literal hellspawn, I mean, helped. Instead of like, you know, having these endangered species, you know, there being like thousands of them instantly respawning. Making them demons definitely helped. Oh man, that fight! That was a perfect fight, wow. GG's. Good fight. You got demolished.
Welcome. Kick back and relax.
That's what you like to see.
We've got a masterpiece on our
Early
hands.
morning, good gameplay.
Hey, take care out there.
Killed him
and
in
have
2
a blast.
combos.
Select the character you wish to use. Rick Norton. Stage 3, Lake Street, Experiment Station.
I will fight for the sake of peace. Until victory for Sweet Hurricane.
This game actually has a lore reason why you fight the same bosses over and over, despite not being a roguelike. The problem is, this is not a roguelike, and it feels like they just tried to justify not having the budget to make, like, actual unique boss fights, because most beat-em-ups, you know, they'll reuse a boss every now and then, but not, like, 10 times each like this game. So, it's cool that they tried to justify it, but given how the game looks and how it's only like $20, I think it's really obvious why it got written into the lore. But, that's more than a lot of old games gave you. You know, palette swaps have been around for like half a century now, so going back as far as like Pac-Man and stuff. That's like the originator of palette swaps. So I did find it interesting actually reading the story the first time I played this. They actually have a lore reason why, you know, the enemies and stuff they keep coming back. That was really necessary though. They're gonna start in about 15 minutes, so we'll do like a little bit more and hop on over to the stream.
Justice will not be
Decent fight.
Welcome. Kick back and relax. Hey, take care out there and have a blast.
Select the character you wish to use.
Rick Norton.
Adding more to the story of Entropy Effect would take up much more resources comparatively. Well, yeah, there's a number of reasons for that. First is everything has to get approved by ArcSys. I mean, they've literally said that despite the game mostly being recycled assets, I mean, for the playable characters, almost all of it is recycled assets, that they have to get approval for everything that they do. And then also, coordinating the voice acting and stuff is way harder because, you know, the Japanese voice actors have agencies and stuff, so that's why it's way harder compared to Hades, where a lot of the voice actors are local and they can even do it remotely. So I don't know. The reception of the Entropy Effect story seems to be pretty negative. I've never cared about BlazBlue's story like at all, so I didn't care. I thought the presentation was nice. I don't know if it's giving people false hope that there's going to be, like, a mainline one. I don't know, like, what the viability of that is right now for ArcSys. They're working on Tokon, you know, Grand Blue vs. Rising is getting, like, at least one more season, apparently. You know, the new Strive season just started. Like, that game's going to probably get another couple seasons. And then, like, that's not even counting, you know, anything that's not announced. You know, that's still, you know, not very far in development. But I've heard it's essentially a filler episode. I'm like, yeah, I kind of expected that. It's definitely better than it was before. The BlazBlue stuff felt so tacked on. It's just like this weird post-apocalyptic robot story. and they weren't even, like, appealing characters to look at. They just like flash game robots. It's very hard to care about them compared to other roguelikes actually trying to have a story that you care about. The character designs are just, you know, they're generic looking robots. So it's good that they tried to fix that, but well, yeah, it had nothing to do with BlazBlue, and I think the reason for that was the gacha game collab rules, where they let you use the characters, but they don't let you continue the story. This is something that's happened with Nier. You know, 2B has been in like 15 different service games at this point, and like, there's like a rule that you can't continue the story. You know, I guess they just don't want to be. They don't want to have to. You know, if they ever do make a new Nier, they don't want to have to worry about continuity in some gacha game that shut down 6 years ago. Which makes sense. Some people might think it's limiting. Well, you know, preservation of gacha games is admittedly very bad. Most, like, 99% of them don't get, like, an offline version where you can at least, like, read the story, let alone experience the gameplay again. So, like, they spam her in so many different games, but, you know, the company, the developers are given, like, a rule, like, you can't continue the story. So what I think happened with Entropy Effect was they were given the license, but they weren't given the permission to, like, actually continue the story. So he ended up with flash game robots that you just don't care about. Even if they did, like, make an honest attempt with the story, I mean, the reality was just they're not appealing characters to look at. I'm not talking about them being, like, Gooner robots or anything like 2B and stuff, but they're literally just flash game characters. You know, you gotta step outside the lens of people that wanting every character to be, like, mega attractive. I'm like, no, they're not even interesting looking, you know, you know, sexually focused robots. They're literal flash game characters, and people just couldn't care about them, myself included. But, you know, the game went on to be very successful and made a lot more money than they probably were planning or expecting. So they were given the green light to, you know, actually use the characters in the story. But, you know, it got tied to a console port and a major update later on. The console players don't even have access to the Flash Game Robot story. That's the funniest thing. They don't even have access to it. I don't know if they still consider it to be canon or not, but you can't play it on console. The only remnant of it is if you have the game on PC and mobile. Because the mobile version does not have the new story at all. So yeah, a lot of people don't really understand how gacha-like agreements work with collabs. They usually don't want you to, like, continue the story. Like PGR, for instance, with Dante and Virgil, it was basically just an isekai filler episode. Like, they get in the PGR world, they interact with the characters, and then they leave. I mean, it did kind of talk about how, I guess it's supposed to be post 5, where, you know, Dante and Virgil are on good terms, and they're not, like, really fighting anymore. But does it continue the story? No, not really. There are incredibly strict rules around that stuff, which makes sense, if you ask me. Some people may think it's a bad thing. I'm like, well, we don't need a repeat of what's going on with Kingdom Hearts, where a significant chunk of important story beats are tied to Flash game tier mobile games that don't exist anymore. I don't remember much about the Nier story that was in PGR, but yeah, it was kind of just the same thing. The characters are there, but you're not going to get, like, a major groundbreaking like narrative advancement. Anyway, they're about to start, so I'll go ahead and switch up here. Well, the original story was trying really hard with just not appealing looking characters. As somebody who grew up playing a significant amount of Flash games, they definitely did pass for Flash game characters. And I think if they had done more to make them look more appealing, I don't mean Gooner, I mean just like not small little chibi robots, maybe people would have cared more, but at the end of the day, it was held back by clearly not having the rights to continue the story, which is what people wanted. But Entropy Effect, not Entropy Effect, but Central Fiction also had like a pretty definitive ending, so that didn't help either. Unannounced free-to-play Borderlands game spotted on the App Store. You're gonna have to pull for guns. You're gonna have to pull for guns. This is probably like destroy a whole part of the map and get like 2 guns, but if you spend like $100, you get like 50. That sounds like a disaster in the making. I don't even know how that would work, man. Like, it's extremely hard to sell power in games like that. That's why most service games with crazy progression, they just have, you know, cosmetics and, like, convenience time saver stuffs. One of the only exceptions is Diablo Immortal. That's one of the few games that managed to do it. But even then, you do have to, like, actually grind for your gear. Like, yeah, if you spend tens of thousands, you're going to be way stronger than somebody who's a free player or a light spender, but you do still have to grind. I don't know how that would work with Borderlands, though. Because, like, the main thing that's your build is the guns, basically. Everything else is kind of supplementing that. I guess it's mostly just that selling power in those games is hard. As much as they want to do it, it's extremely difficult. Because what people want, what they would buy, is extremely, like a really vast thing. So usually what happens is, you know, they sell you, like, shortcuts. Oh, I'm looking at it right now. Oh, I forgot they're doing a wait. Alright, well, let's play something else for a little bit. I forgot that they, I'll give them a pass. I'll give them a pass because once it starts, there's no filler. But I forgot that they're starting the stream like 15 minutes early. That's on me. That's not their fault. So we'll play something else for a bit. What can I make progress in 15 minutes? Basically none of the roguelikes I'm currently playing. What do we got here? What can I set up quick? Yeah, I'm sure people will talk about the monetization in that Borderlands game. I wonder how bad it is. However, the idea of a replayable Borderlands is probably pretty good. I mean, one of the Borderlands 4 and Diablo 4 have a lot of similarities, where the open world is barren and empty, and the only reason it's there is to make people think it's a big game. So it really feels like the reason they're doing that is because of Gunfire Reborn. Because Gunfire Reborn is just Borderlands but better, in my opinion. Like, no one talks. There's no long-winded dialogue. There's no traveling. I feel like Gunfire Reborn paved the way for that Borderlands gacha that just came out. Extremely likely. Not that I would play it in the first place, but I am curious. Done with the board game.
Have you decided which one of you will die first? Too slow.
Hell yeah! Let me show you what I got. Take this! Jackpot. Go back to hell!
Have you decided? Too slow.
Go to hell! Go to hell!
You shall die.
集中攻撃 Hell yeah! Let me show you what I've got. Take this! Go back to hell! 怒りのもう死は恐れない Go to hell!
This is how you shall die.
How disappointing.
How disappointing.
You want $80 for Elden Ring on Switch 2. The whole game is not even on the cart. But it's like 50 with the DLC on sale constantly on all the other platforms. And you don't get mods. Like, that's actually, like, killer. Because that game has, like, multiple, like, full conversions. People have, like, completely redone the combat system, like, 6 times. And added, like, more loot and stuff. So, that seems like an insane ripoff. That's the epitome of Switch tax right there. It's also, I know it's not going to be 60 FPS because it's not on Steam Deck. But it'll sell. It'll sell, but that's kind of like buying Kingdom Hearts 3 on console at this point. When Kingdom Hearts 3 is in the same boat with like 6 different full gameplay overhauls. And it runs like perfectly on the Steam Deck if you tweak it a little bit. Like, should you really buy that game on console right now? If you have like a Steam Deck at minimum, no. The mods make it so much better, and it's cheaper. It's consistently on sale for like $30 with everything. So, yep, that's about what I expected. Well, part of it is having to produce the cards is expensive, apparently, but that's not the real reason. That's part of the reason. I personally won't be buying any Switch 2 games that are like larger productions if they have a bunch of mods. It has to be actually worth it. Like, if the DMC5 leak is true, which it seems to be because it was found on a ratings board, I would consider buying that if it had new content, because modding that game on Steam Deck is admittedly not easy. And now with Dreadstorm Virgil, I can't even imagine how difficult that is to get running on Steam Deck. I'd be down for that. I'd be down for, having the console exclusive stuff from Special Edition, just baked into the game without having to mod it. But yeah, Switch tax and then like no access to mods for some of these AAA games coming to it is a major deal breaker. Especially for some of them. I know getting Elden Ring mods to work on Steam Deck is actually not that difficult, so if you have a Steam Deck and Switch 2 and you want to play that game, I mean 100%. If you you will have to put in some elbow grease to like optimize the game and get the mods to run, but that'd be the better choice for sure. You have access to the mods and then get the game for like half the price Nintendo's charging. There are some exceptions though. I've mostly been buying like indie games and stuff that like don't have modding communities because the screen is a lot better, the resolution is higher, the screen is bigger. Also, when the D-pad Joy-Con comes out that I pre-ordered, that I should be getting in a few weeks, and I'm gonna try to do a review of, it'll be better than the Steam Deck overall. But like, yeah, heavily modded stuff, it's just not worth it. Seems like Morbid Metal is doing decently, but everybody just keeps parroting stuff that we told them in the playtest and stuff. It's like the moveset is too small. Feel like marketing it as DMC when you have like a smaller moveset than even a peak of combat character is a choice. We gotta stop doing like tag gameplay, but then like make it so the movesets are so small that you need to switch between like 3 characters to have like what like an assault spy character can do by themselves. I don't know what it is with the global moveset shortage. It's definitely got a good foundation, but with how much people are telling them that the moveset is too small, hopefully they'll do something about it. I just don't like dumping cooldowns and then just waiting. It's boring. They'll probably get there.
I have dreamt.
Wouldn't be the
so
first
long of my body that I know everything
action
about
roguelike to get more moveset depth later on.
I've dreamt it into existence. They say you.
I don't know how much energy I've got left after this presentation, but I might play a little bit after this. But the kiddies funded that game in Super Alloy Crush, so I have no obligation to play it. It was not crowd-funded. I was not sponsored. I did not get review keys for either, so...
Never. When I meet my body, I will never part from her.
Friend Slop just drops. Friend Slop of the month. The art style is more appealing than most of these types of games, though. I like the art style. Okay, finally something good. Finally something good. Yo, I just saw Sonya throw like a hook.
The studio behind Castlevania Belmont's Curse. We first worked on this beloved franchise with the Return to Castlevania DLC for Dead Cells. Since then, we've moved away from our roguelike roots and have been busy building a brand new 2D action-adventure game.
And I'm speaking for Taniguchi-san from Konami. My team worked on the Castlevania collections, as well as collabs with external studios. Evil Empire's tribute turned out so good, we really couldn't miss the chance to work with them again.
Together, we're continuing our collaboration for the 40th anniversary of the franchise. Being a French team, we were arrogant enough to set the game in France. Except for me, of course, being a humble Englishman. Now, let me set the scene. The year is 1499, and Paris has been invaded by Dracula's forces. As a Belmont, you will hunt down monsters across the city, scaling the sacred spires of Notre Dame, descending into the skull-lined catacombs, and dueling corrupted legends like Joan of Arc. Only berets and baguettes are missing, but I think you've had enough of that already. And what will become of Paris when Dracula's castle finally emerges? Well, you'll have to wait a little longer to find out.
Castlevania, Belmont's Curse.
Is it really coming to Switch 1? Are they really not having a Switch 2 version? That's...
Pioneer. Time to
That does not look like that's gonna run on Switch 1, man. Are you gonna repeat the mistakes of Bloodstained? Where, like, it sold the most copies on Switch, but the port was terrible and was barely playable?
With your efforts,
Dude, if you're really gonna put that on Switch 1, like, need to, like, delay it and put it out on 2. If Bloodstained is any indication, man, playing that at launch was horrendous. Fiscal year of input lag, load times, long loads, crashes,
the shared vision of sun.
30 FPS, like sub-native resolution. I don't know, man. I know you want the big Switch install base to be able to play it, but that really backfired with Bloodstained. They did a couple patches, but just like the hardware couldn't handle it. They made it better over time, but it wasn't enough. Well, hopefully they reveal more, they'll have a Switch 2 version. I wish all the presentations were like this. No talking heads, no concerts or anything. Just like show the games. Like something like this I would never play, but you know, it's over with quick. And they're trying to appeal to a large audience, but when you're trying to appeal to a large audience, it's better when you don't waste people's time. I've already announced like 10 games. Yeah, the only one I'm really wanting to play is Castlevania, but hey, you know, not everybody shares my taste. I wish they were all like this, just like under an hour, just showing you the game and moving on. And then, like, if you want to see more, you know, the official channels for these companies or whatever can show it to you after it's announced, instead of, you know, making it like 3 hours long and the same amount of like announcements but a bunch of fluff, which I think is why people get so chrono triggered when they don't show anything they want. It's like, well, if they were all like Nintendo Directs over in like 30 to 45 minutes, it goes over a lot easier and you watch the whole thing and there's not one game you want to buy. You watch a whole Game Awards and they've got like nothing. Yeah, that can be definitely impact how people act on social media. They already showed Castlevania. He didn't give a release date, but I am very interested in that game. The rest of this stuff is not my jam, but hey, getting it over with quick. There's another friend slop game.
It's okay, it's okay.
I guess the advertisers want these things to be longer, so they can put more ads, but
Oh my god.
the viewing experience is way worse. Come on, where's Blaze Green? Where's Blaze Green? That's like my one expectation. Well, that and Castlevania, because they did say that there was going to be Castlevania stuff today. Other than that, I have no expectations. I'm expecting Blaze Green, though, because they've announced a lot of Entropy Effect stuff at the III.
As you are returned to the earth, may the roots cradle your bones. The worms carry out their quiet work. We welcomed you in our midst, asked for nothing cruel, only honest work, sweat and toil. Your rewards earned. Keep digging for answers. And you will reap what you sow.
There are a lot of friend slop games this time. This is like the 5th one. They took a jab at roguelikes a couple years ago for this. I'm like, I'd rather have that than friend slop, especially if they're good. Yeah, the people who run this seem to have some kind of vendetta against roguelikes. Hopefully they'll have something else I care about. Well, with friend slot games, it's less of a problem. It's more with AAA games that's a problem, because you can start developing something around a trend, like the Battle Royales were like the big thing, but then it takes like 5-6 years to put out a AAA game now, so by the time that it releases, people are tired of it, or not necessarily tired in some cases, but there's already like an established number of games that people are playing, if that's what they want. So, with friend slot games, it's less of an issue. Friend slot games are still immensely popular. And, you know, the graphics and gameplay and stuff, the expectations are like way lower. So, that's nowhere near as much of an issue as you may think, compared to like something like High Guard, where people were already burnt out of that type of game and they've been scammed on numbers of them in the past couple years, and comes out and no one wants to play it. With a friend slot game, the production values and dev time is like way shorter. Of course, not all of them are going to be mega popular, like Peak and stuff, but, you know, they cost like way less to make. Although it probably will get to the point where they start taking like half a decade to put out a friend slot game, and then, you know, everybody's still on Among Us and Peak and all the other ones. I hope they're smart enough to not get it to that point. But, yeah, with like AAA 3D games, it's definitely an issue. You can't just turn out one of those games quick. Another one! We got another one already! How many in a row is this now? A couple years ago, I watched one of these on stream, and they were like dunking on roguelikes. I'm like, I would prefer 10 cool action roguelikes over friend slop, but hey, I'm not the authority on what people can enjoy. I just think it's a little strange.
Hey, thanks for watching the trailer for Starseeker Astroneer Expeditions. If you'd like to get your hands on it early, head on over to starseekergame.com and sign up.
Nah, I'm good, bro.
We also have an extended gameplay segment coming up later in the show, so be sure to stick around.
You've been hired to work.
So you're not the boss of me.
Yeah, I'm not listening to that.
Oh, okay.
So customers come in and then we scan their IDs. Okay, we gotta check that they are a human. Shoot her.
Shoot her?
On the thing it says she's a plumber, but she says that she's a flight attendant.
What the hell is this?
Oh, he vibing. I don't even need to check shit.
Oh.
Oh, creepy. No, thank you.
Did you see? Wait. Oh my goodness.
We're two doppelgangers.
60 seconds. Okay, you board up the doors. I'll start setting traps.
Yes, sir.
Oh my god. What the hell is that?
I don't get how you're supposed to stream this game. I've heard it's really good. I just question how you're supposed to stream it. What is their plan for marketing? I think, like, a lot of content creators won't want to touch this game because of all the licensed music. Hopefully they're smart enough to do it like Hi-Fi Rush, where they just had, like, a completely different soundtrack for streamer mode, which wasn't like generic royalty-free music. It was actually like still a good soundtrack. But you know, you didn't get oh, there you go. All right. So all right, they took the right inspiration. They took the right inspiration. Maybe I'll check that out. I don't know. I haven't played the demo. It's like 2 games I'm interested in. The rest of
In the
this,
Home and Harbor expansion, you
I
get
will
to
never
build,
play.
manage, and fight for your very own outpost, your home base in the oceans of Europa. Outposts are valuable assets. Be ready to fight for them, both in single and multiplayer. Home and Harbor adds new mechanics and depth to Barotrauma. Manage and develop your outposts into industrial hubs and take part in the underwater economy. Discover a new faction in the world of Barotrauma, the Descendants. Mysterious, high-tech offspring of Europa's original settlers. With the Descendants, various new technologies are introduced into the game. Cybernetics, augmentation, energy weaponry, you name it. Home and Harbor adds more story, new missions, and deeper faction interactions to the Barotrauma campaign. Barotrauma Home and Harbor expansion, coming autumn 2026.
Oh, Lost Castle 2. This game was okay. This game was alright, but Absalom combat is way better. I didn't care for the combat very much, but I think for like co-op purposes, this game is a lot better. But yeah, gameplay and art style is a lot worse. Probably a lot easier to get your friends into though than Absalom, which is expecting you to, you know, learn the mechanics and stuff. Yeah, I played this for a couple hours. It was okay. Moveset was extremely small though.
I'm making a game about sledding and hanging out.
Another one! Wait.
It's pretty much exactly
Is this another one? Yeah, looks like it.
Tricks and stuff. There's also
the friend slop initiative.
Snowball fights.
It's like the dozenth one now.
Or fishing.
Oh my god. I hate you so much.
You can also just kind of hang around if you want. There's also some cool customization stuff.
There's so many of these.
Help with the cool factor. So yeah, that's the game I'm making, and I'm really excited to share that sledding game is coming to early access on April 30th. See you on the slopes real soon, people. Real soon.
Can I get a roguelike, please? Blaze Blue, save me. I lost sleep over this. Blaze Green, come on. We still got 20 minutes of this. Come on, Blaze Green. Let's take a break from the friend slop. Oh well. The disappointment doesn't hit as hard when it takes 40 minutes instead of like 4 hours like the Game Awards. So hey, I'm all for it. It would have announced like 2 games at the Game Awards by now. These guys have announced like 20.
Listen up! We's calling a war! The Homies have smashed their way onto our turf. It looks like they
oh boy!
This
is not what I meant when I said roguelike. No. Be careful what you wish for. You're gonna get this instead.
He thinks he's dead hard in his battle wagon. But wait till the boys crack him open. Oh look, It's all Baylor! But I ain't nobody.
Yep, another Vampire Survivors clone. The Warhammer skin.
Yeah, him! The biggest, meanest, that's
Alright, come on. You're showing roguelikes now. Let's see Blaze Green, please.
Let's have it!
On this alien planet, a solitary creature faces the ultimate test of survival. A duplicant. An industrious creature built to survive the harshest of environments. It must unlock the secrets of this strange world. Learn to coax oxygen from crystal, raise crops from seed, generate light from goo. The path is fraught with peril. Insufficient water? Famine. Inadequate fuel? Lights out. An unexpected chemical reaction. The burden of existence is heavy, but this creature does not have to walk alone. At last, our survivor has found a friend. The duplicant now belongs to a team.
Even the crows refuse to feast on these bodies. This carnage reeks of something foul. Something inhuman. War takes its toll on everyone. What horror has been unleashed on these lands? Some escape in daydreaming, some in madness. What madness has taken hold here? Am I dreaming this hellish nightmare?
Yep, I'm ready. I'm ready for Blaze Green. Where is it? Where's Blaze Green? No more French slop, please. Temtem with MMO combat. I guess they gave up on trying to compete with Pokemon. Part of the problem with Temtem was, what I understand, content updates were extremely slow, and people were like clearing it in like an hour, and just as a small team, they didn't have the manpower to like keep it going. Oh, it's not even, they have to get funding for it. I don't know how I feel about Kickstarter being on like presentations like this. Because they did that with Shenmue 3. I wonder how much money are they going to be asking for something like that, though? Like, that would take like at least a couple million, wouldn't it? Unless they're doing it like Bloodstained, where they're doing it like Bloodstained, where it's like an interest test. But like making a game like that is not cheap. I don't know about that being a Kickstarter game.
Wake up, Keeper. Don't make me bite you. Yes, I may be a skull, but I bet we'll become best friends.
One more filler for you, comrade.
What are you looking at? Grab him.
We have an experimental reactor, and I really do think the whole thing might implode. And that's where you come in.
Another one! Who's keeping count?
Now, I don't want you to get overexcited, but there are rings cut through time itself. Stabilize one of those, and you
Okay, so while they're showing this, I'm not interested in. I'm looking at the Temtem
you could perhaps fix a few teensy little problems you need to.
Kickstarter, and they only want 100K.
Logic thanks you.
How do you make a game like that on 100K? Oh, Ember Knights. Oh no, this is Alabaster Dawn. Alright, something good. Well, I actually didn't like Crosscode because puzzles were exhausting. Hopefully there's less of that this time. No, yeah, I might get that. We'll see. We'll see. Crosscode was like 90% puzzles and like 10% combat and was immensely exhausting. So hopefully they have a better balance this time. That's one of the biggest complaints about Crosscode. Like, everybody could tell it was an amazing game and no one really called it an outright bad game, but you know, it was marketed as an action RPG with like exploration, but then like 90% of the game is really exhausting puzzles. So hopefully they've balanced it out better. You can't get like stuck on puzzles for hours.
You're thinking. You're probably wondering, how did this handsome fellow end up in such an awkward situation? Well, to understand, I think we need to rewind a bit.
Yep, Cabe's rent is due.
When my best buddies and I
Their rent is due. They don't, have too many more games to port. They gotta start making something new. Rent's due.
we were peacefully making our way through.
Another friend slop
when
game.
everything went completely
Like the
off
15th one they've had this presentation. I think this is actually one of the worst ones of these I've ever watched. It's too friend slop focused. Like, there's so many of these games. I'm not interested.
It's a real shame I ended up.
Games just aren't really interesting unless you've got a consistent group to play them with. Otherwise, they get better gameplay elsewhere.
Every step forward, you're already too deep to quit.
Yeah, this one's kind of unbalanced, which is interesting because a couple years back they were dunking on roguelikes. I'm like, well, I'd rather have more of that than some of this stuff they're showing. Personally. But hey, obviously there's a market for it. It's just not me. Otherwise, they wouldn't keep making stuff like that. So it is what it is. But yeah, their lineup this year is not great. It's mostly just like friend slop games.
Dear contestants, prepare yourselves for the ultimate trial in final sentence.
Where's the question mark? Sir, put that gun down. We good. Oh my God!
I think part of the problem is those games live or die on player base. And if there's so many of them coming out this year, not all of them are going to have players. Which is why I play like Scrimblow Bimblow stuff like Overrider and Super Alloy Crush. You know, I don't need a healthy player base to enjoy those. That's part of the problem with friend slop games for sure. Especially with how many of them are coming out. You can't have... They've already announced like a dozen of them coming out this year during this presentation alone. Like, they're not all gonna have like 10k players or more. Some of them are gonna really struggle. Well, I'm already not interested. Well, they showed Castlevania at least. Yeah, no Blaze Green, I guess. I guess the Realm of Ink collab is a ways off, otherwise they would have at least showed a teaser, but I guess that's not soon, because it sure as hell wasn't here. Yeah, there's supposed to be multiple projects for the 40th anniversary. I'm willing to bet that there's going to be like a PS2 collection. It'll probably be like Lament and Curse, and then probably like Judgment and some like new exclusive game or something. I can watch all the friend slop games back. I'm gonna buy all of them. I'm already checked out. I'm already checked out. I'm good, man. I don't need to see the 15 friend slop games again. Maybe I'll play like one more game. Not many people really want to play the N64 games, though. They've aged like milk. The common complaint with the PS2 games is that they're hallways, but, you know, if they just made it so you had like a sprint button or something, hey, I'd be fine with that. But, like, honestly, 5th gen games just aged so much worse than 6th gen games. Even like 4th and 3rd generation games aged better than 5th gen games. I guess they could do it to fill out the collection because there's only 2 PS2 games for Castlevania, but yeah, I could see them doing that. Call it like 3D collection or something. But like, yeah, I don't really have any desire to play the N64 games again. They weren't that great when they came out. Now add like 30 years of aging onto them, man. That's not looking good. I don't know how much you could really do to those games to bring them up to like modern standards without just straight up remaking them. The PS2 games still hold up fine. Like some minor things that they could do to them, they'd still be more than playable, but 5th gen games basically require like a full-on recomp with mods for the most part to feel good to go back to. That's why like it's taken so long for indie games to start doing N64 5th gen stuff, because most people don't actually want that. For good reason. I do not look back on that era of gaming very fondly, like, at all. I've been gaming for decades, and, like, the generation I never go back to, outside of recomps, is the 5th one. I never go back and play those games, like, ever. Unless it's, like, pixel art games of that gen, like Symphony of the Night, Mischief Makers. Well, Mischief Makers is kind of like a little bit of both. All the PS1 pixel art games still hold up fine, but the 3D stuff aged like milk. You could still play like NES and SNES games just fine. You know, arcade games from like the early 90s, but like early 3D, man, aged terribly. I have no desire to go back to it. Hey, peace out, man. Thanks for hanging out. Sorry there was no Blaze Green news. Yeah, they had like 15 different friend slot games instead. How thrilling. That's alright, this game came out yesterday. We're all good. This is better than most of what they showed, at least for my tastes. What's up, man? Hello. That was AAA, like 90% friend slap. I'm not joking. They announced like 7 different, like a dozen different multiplayer-focused games, and most of them fit the friend slap definition of great fun with friends, but you know, you want more of a focus on gameplay. There's better places to go. It's like predominantly friend slap. They did show Castlevania. There was new Brotato DLC. Those are like the only 2 things I was interested in for my interests, but obviously I don't speak for everybody else, but I do think it's kind of a problem to have like a dozen of those types of games announced. They're all like going for the same group of people, basically. Yeah, they announced an insane amount of them. So as soon as I see a game like that, I'm not interested. There's no Blaze Green news, which is the main thing that I wanted to see, but they did show Castlevania, and I will definitely be getting that frame 1, so it's all good as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, concerning amount of friend slap. I feel like the developers of those games are going to be all fighting for the same audience. It's like, felt like all those games are coming out this year. I don't think any of them were next year. They were like all 2026. Kind of why I just like playing stuff where I don't need to worry about player base. This game has like 200 concurrent players. My enjoyment isn't ruined because of it, but those games 100%, it's a problem. Yeah, there's supposed to be a Realm of Ink collab, but no news of that. That was like the main reason I woke up for this, but I guess it's not ready yet. Would have thought there would have been like at least a teaser. I wasn't expecting a shadow drop, but I thought that there would be at least a teaser, but nope. AAA isn't worth watching. Very disappointing this year, but they did get it over with quicker, so better than when the Game Awards announces a bunch of stuff you're not interested in. Still, Definitely a lot less variety in the types of games. I'm not talking about it from my interests. There were an insane amount of friend slop games. Like, a lot. This run sucks. No damage. How am I supposed to avoid that? I'll learn this boss. Yeah, this build is trash though. Very bad build. Please die. Ads don't help. I got a shit drop as well. Complete garbage drop. Game is trolling me hard right now. I'll do another run after this, because this one's clearly already doomed to fail. I'll do another one after this. But, yeah, this one's already cooked. If I can get to the second boss and get a good chip, then it'll be worth it, but it's not looking likely at the moment. Apparently there's some really busted chips, but I haven't gotten any yet. Your experience with this game is going to greatly vary depending on the RNG. Like what drops. Some people will probably say this game's too easy. There's other people saying it's too hard. It's like, well, it's not really either. It's just that the main progression is RNG, so somebody might get a busted build, meta progression build like right away, and then somebody else could grind for hours and get nothing. They should definitely add like more of a pity system. I don't think they need to increase the drop rates, but make it so, you know, you can guarantee getting something worthwhile. Because I've done this countless times now, well, several, probably like 10 times or so, and I've gotten barely anything worth using. I don't even know how you would review this game on difficulty. I don't think you can. Can you, like, give constructive criticism on this game's difficulty? And I'm in their Discord for this game, and somebody had, like, incredibly broken stuff that could let them spam moves, like, constantly. I'm like, well, the game must be a lot easier if we have that. But, you know, if it doesn't drop, yeah, some of these enemy spawns, these spawns are extremely difficult to deal with. Like, you can't do it with skill. I mean, skill helps, but it's not the be-all, end-all. It's not like Entropy Effect level of, you know, balance, where you can have a garbage build and still win. You definitely are expected to have, like, a good chip build to get far. So they could definitely do with having some kind of system to prevent you from getting junk. I've pulled on the gacha like 20 times and I haven't gotten anything good from it. Yeah, this run is not going nowhere fast. These spawns are incredibly rough. can get to the next boss and get another chip drop, it's going to be a miracle. This run is cursed. Just complete junk. Well, 1 coin at least. Maybe I can get something from that. But the gacha machine is worse than the actual gacha game. Gives you a lot of junk most of the time. Well, at least there's something. Kind of want to get like 1 endgame chip before I do the overview for this, because they seem pretty game-changing, but the game's been saying no. Got some pretty average at best build stuff right now. Just one shot. Yeah, they're definitely expecting me to have better chips here. Oh man, nothing I can do about that, huh? Oh, come on, man. I dodged. What a trash run. It actually was starting to get somewhere, but too much bad RNG. Some bad gameplay on my part as well. Not a mystery chip. It's a piece of junk. They did get a gotcha pull here. Give me something good, please. Oh boy, absolutely nothing. It's like I'm playing a gacha game. There's no pity system. Oh wow. Oh, that's actually extremely good. I didn't see that there. Yeah, you can't really, like, plan to play this and not take damage. I mean, you will take damage. It's inevitable. Clear one of those, and then, and you'll clearly need to work on the build a bit. The bosses, for the most part, once you learn them, are pretty fair. But the mob fights, like, some of that you really can't do anything about. Let's take that off and put, what else is good here? Attack? That's a weird shape, I can't use that one. Damage minus 20% is going to be big, though. Let's see, where can I put this? Definitely put one down here the next run. I'll try again. Do one more. Clearly not ready for the third one yet, though. I don't think that's happening. I don't think you can rotate them, though. They definitely should add that. Add a little bit more strategy to it. You also have to, like, do challenges to expand it. So, yeah, the fact that you don't seem to be able to rotate them is a little bit strange. I could be wrong, though. Not really a lot of information about this game. Just some of the stuff I saw in their Discord that you could equip to your build is absolutely bonkers, so I think I'd be doing a disservice if I crap out an overview and I don't have, like, something in-game, but who knows how long that's gonna take. So far, my luck in this game has not been very good. Need to get a build going, please. That's a pretty fat boost right there, I guess. It's also like the spawns. The spawns are completely random, so sometimes you'll get like a bunch of elites and you can like barely fight them. Like no amount of skill is gonna get you out of that unscathed. So the chip system is really cool though. This actually has a more interesting gameplay loop than a lot of finished roguelikes that are 1.0, but I do think it's a little bit too random. Should at least have like some way to get something decent, because I mean the run length is not too long. It's like about half an hour, 20 to 30 minutes I'd say, but there's a lot of variance, so I'd say 30 to 35 minutes on average. And I definitely have done this multiple times and gotten nothing, so could do with lightening up on the RNG a little bit. Damage, HP. The more damage taken, producers, the better. Well, see, that's the thing. People are like saying that he's bad. It's like, well, the chips are game-changing. You can't judge a character when you start playing this, and that's part of the problem with the way that the meta progression works in this is there's no guarantee to get what you want, so, or even get anything remotely good. Like, I don't even know what it is that I want because I don't know what all the rare drops are, but I'm seeing the problem of potentially playing this for dozens of hours and not getting anything. So I don't think anybody can honestly say he's bad. I've put about, what, like, probably close to 6 hours into this, and I have, like, barely anything good. ads are getting on my nerves. Stay dead. Stop coming back. No more ads. That did not go very well, and I didn't even get a good chip for it. I got a premium one only. can't believe you're still alive. Die. Jeez, man. Somehow survived all of that magically. I'm just gonna go ahead and burn another one. Give me an SR chip, please. Please. That's not an SR chip. Oh, man. Getting trolled, getting trolled, getting trolled. This sucks. I'm gonna put an extreme amount of effort into these boss fights and I'm getting nothing. Now it's an auto-scroller, even worse. Well, give me some coins at least, but it's just gonna make... Hey, I pulled it off. I pulled it off. That was clutch. That was solid gameplay right there. Nice. Not the best start, but still cleared. Unfortunately, I didn't get any SR chips. Was not rewarded for my skill there. It's mostly junk. I don't understand the purpose of the HP full stuffs. It's like, when are you ever full on HP in this game? I genuinely question, when are you ever at full HP to ever use something like that? I mean, gotcha coins, I got one. Oh, 3 more. Oh yeah. Give me something good, please. One mystery chip. Some more trash. Well, gonna need to get some better stuffs for this to start really popping off with builds, but that was pretty solid progress for now. I'm gonna go ahead and stop. I'll go grab something to eat, maybe get some rest for both. Thanks for watching, everybody. Sorry the Triple I initiative wasn't too great, but hey, that's what I expected. I will be back with more of this later today for sure, because I have to go back to kitty sitting work tonight, so this game works great on the deck. I'll see you guys then. I haven't really touched Morbid Metal that much because of all the bugs, but yeah, I'll probably play that again some point later today too. See you guys later. Thanks for watching.